white, misty air, and poor visibility. These are characteristics of a certain weather phenomenon, fog. This not particularly spectacular weather phenomenon can occur any time of the year, but most frequently during the winter. As for its structure and formation, it is a type of cloud that forms close to the surface of the Earth. We call it fog if visibility is reduced to less than 1 kilometer. Warm air can hold more water vapor than cold air. On hot summer days, warm air can hold as much as 30 grams per cubic meter, while at sub-zero temperatures, cold air can only hold 2 to 3 grams per cubic meter. So, if the warm air with the higher water vapor content cools down, it must get rid of the excess water vapor. Air picks up a lot of water vapor from bodies of water evaporating during the day. Some of this water vapor condenses into water droplets to form fog near the surface when the temperature drops at night. It may take days for the fog to clear. The formation of fog is more common above open fields, far away from cities. This is because grass is a poor thermal conductor, so the air remains colder here for a longer period of time than over the hot asphalt in the city. Smog can also form in cities because of environmental pollution. This word is a combination of two words, smoke and fog. Smog is particularly dangerous to human health. It can cause respiratory diseases. In 1952, the Great Smog of London killed more than 4,000 people in 4 days. Today, urban planning focuses on preventing such tragedies. A dense fog also poses a traffic hazard that can lead to accidents.
How long do you think it has not rained in the driest region of the Earth? 10 years? 100 years? 1,000 years? Much longer than that. In certain parts of the Atacama, life-giving rain has been awaited in vain for 120,000 years. It means that the last time it rained here, Homo sapiens lived only in Africa and had not yet conquered the other continents. With this record, the long, narrow, sandy, stony desert stretching along the Pacific coast of South America earned the name Absolute Desert. Another result of this incredible dryness is that the peaks of the Andes at the eastern border of the desert are not covered with ice even at 6,000 meters. The glaciers are also missing from these mountains. The Atacama had been extremely dry even before that. In certain parts, there has hardly been any rain for the last 20 million years. This extraordinary aridity, and with it, the formation of the Atacama Desert, goes back approximately 35 million years. This was when passages opened between South America and Antarctica, as well as between Australia and Antarctica. A cold sea current formed around Antarctica, a part of which bumps into the west coast of South America and then turns north. The Humboldt Current and its cold water stops ascending air and thus prevents precipitation along these coasts. This is why Atacama receives no rain from the west, while to the east, the high Andes block the path of moist air currents. These days, the mean precipitation is only 3 millimeters per year. However, during the night, sea fog crawls into some parts, providing sufficient moisture for certain plants. So in spite of the merciless aridity, algae, lichen, and even some cacti are able to survive here. And the list of records is not over yet. The Atacama is not only the driest desert, but also the highest, at an average of 2,500 meters above sea level. The Andes are the longest mountain range on Earth. They stretch 7,000 kilometers long on the western shores of South America, but in the order of elevation, they are only second. Their average height is 4,000 meters, and their highest peak, the Aconcagua, is 6,962 meters above sea level. The Andes owe their formation to the collision of two tectonic plates. The Nazca Plate, which partly constitutes the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, plunges under the South American plate along the Peru-Chile Trench. This subduction, i.e. plunging, started during the Jurassic era. In the Cretaceous period, the Nazca Plate started moving faster. Quicker plate movements make the angle of plunging sharper. In this case, friction is very strong. Due to great pressure and high temperature, the rocks metamorphosed and often reach the stage of granitization. When the plunging happens at a bigger angle, the hot and soft asthenosphere bursts towards the surface, which leads to the formation of volcanoes. Volcano eruptions and other phenomena linked to volcanism, e.g. geysers or frequent, strong earthquakes, prove that these tectonic processes still continue, and the Nazca Plate is still plunging. The highest active volcanoes on Earth are also here. The Kalahari, meaning the land of thirst in the language of the natives, stretches along the Tropic of Capricorn in South Africa, Namibia and Botswana. It covers almost 1 million kilometers squared. Based on its annual precipitation, it can be considered a desert or a semi-desert. But from the point of view of its vegetation, it is classified rather as a tropical steppe, covered by dry, mostly sparse bushes and grass. It is a mostly flat, endorheic basin, which lies at 1,000 meters above sea level on average, and is surrounded by 1,500 to 1,800 meter high mountains and plateaus. Altogether, 200 to 250 millimeters of rain water its sandy soil every year, but all of it comes in the rainy season, between November and April. On the satellite images of Africa, the Kalahari appears as a distinctive light-colored smudge. A strangely shaped, darker stain protrudes into its northern part. It looks like a broom or a frying pan. It is the biggest oasis of the southern hemisphere, the 15,000 kilometers squared delta region of the Okavango River. The delta is actually made up of islands, with narrow streams and natural channels among them. In times of flood, water covers almost all the islands. Only 2% of the water entering the delta runs off. The rest evaporates directly or through the plants. In the regions continually covered by water, only 3 big animal species live: crocodiles, hippopotamuses, and marsh bucks. In drier areas and on periodically surfacing islands, more than 20 species of large mammals live. The most widespread is the African buffalo, but plain zebras, gnus, impalas, giraffes, and elephants are also quite common. The islands that stay dry even during floods offer permanent habitat only for the giants of the world's flora. The several hundred-year-old baobab trees that are able to store water in their trunks. Dry, short-grass plains are visited by springbucks and gemsboks, but also predators like most African big cats, as well as spotted hyenas and African wild dogs. In today's modernizing world, the indigenous people of Kalahari, i.e. the gathering hunting Sans or Bushmen, observe and show their traditions only for the sake of tourists.